Now like to turn the stage over to the class speaker of the Master of Business Administration, Israel Leitel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I'm so honored to be here today, representing my new MBA cohort. I'm really happy to be here. We're finally MBAs. And besides being MBAs, I want to invite you today to be three other things. To be grateful, to be happy, and to be like a child. You know, I took the time to go to campus last Friday, and I stopped, and I took the time to say goodbye to it. It was almost a sad feeling. And now, let's take a deep breath, and let's remember how this journey began. Whether Shanghai was your regional or your rotation campus, you definitely had goals when you decided to come here. I don't know what those goals were, but I know what you went through because I was there as well. Sometimes it was hard. We had to study hard to learn how to think like a CEO. We had to, sometimes we almost panicked trying to resolve APIA or finance on the next day. We had to pivot countless times for our age, I see. And we also had long day meetings and heated discussions at the residence while wearing our pajamas. But there was also a lot of fun and laughter. We had great lunches and conversations at the long table. We got squeezed all together at the metro. We would explore Shanghai on our scooters, travel around China together. So we were people from different countries, cultures, and experiences, many of whom had to make sacrifices to be here. We had to be far from our families. We had to put our jobs on hold. Also, that we could be here trying to learn where is the value. And so we could pursue our career goals. And regardless of what that meant to you, all this experience, many of us, we had the opportunity not only to learn professional skills, but also we had the chance to challenge the way we see the world. And even more important, to know ourselves better and who we can be. And honestly, I think this is a privilege. So that's why I say, let's be thankful for it. The second thing I want to call you to be is to be happy. And I want to share a story about my father. My mom and dad, they always encouraged my sister and I to study, even though my father, he only had the chance to study until 4th grade during his school years. But even at that time, as a boy in the countryside, he learned one of his most important lessons. One day, he read the following from his teacher's book. There are 3 types of happy people. Those who don't know something and ask about it. Those who know something and teach what they know. And those who teach and do what they teach. And my father, he lived up by those words. We would sit together by our front door. He would bring a blackboard and he would teach me whatever he had learned so many years ago, even before I had classes about it. He would always encourage my sister and I to study, and even him, after he was 50, he decided to study again, and he finished high school. So, my father, he lived up by those words, and he accomplished all the 3 aspects of happy people. I'm sharing this story with you today, because even now, as MBAs, I want you not to be afraid and not to be ashamed that you don't know something. you can always ask for help and seek knowledge, because nobody succeeds without the help of others. And when you know something, share what you know. The experiences and the lessons you have learned during your whole life, they are never too small that you cannot help someone grow with it. And even more importantly, make use of what you know. So don't look down at what you learned during this year and even before. There's a lot of power in that. And it's using that power that is going to put us closer to our career goals. So, just like my father, be happy, seek knowledge, teach what you know, and do what you say. The last thing that I want to call you to be is to be like a child. So, Jesus, in his wisdom, he said that unless you change and become like a child, you cannot enter the kingdoms of heaven. What can we learn from those words? When a child is born, it enters a world that they don't understand, where everybody else is bigger and more capable than they are. But in spite of that, they work really hard to learn how to move, how to crawl, how to walk, and how to talk. But it's a long process. They will lose balance. They will fall. They will get frustrated when we don't understand what they're saying. They are going to get angry at people when things don't happen like they wanted. They do a lot of mistakes. But just some hours after they do all of this, they put themselves together and they carry on. They go one more step further until they can walk with confidence and even run. They make one more sound until they are able to communicate. And they're able to smile again with those they were angry with before. It's almost like they had the growth mindset, don't you think? So, just like a child goes step by step before they can walk and run, completing our MBAs is one more step in our development. For some of us, it's a big step. We learn how to think like a CEO, but even more important is to learn how to think like a human being and to see others as such. And we still have a long way to go in our professional and personal lives. And we have the most power to say how far we want to go. Know that we can still make mistakes. We can fail. We can get angry at people. We might end up even taking a different path than the one we had planned before. But if that ever happens to you, please remember the words of King Solomon, who said, "The righteous man falls 7 times and rises again." So know that you can fall, you can fail, but you can always learn and stand up again, just like a child is. So, my dear MBA brothers and sisters, thank you very much for everything, and be grateful for what you lived, be happy, and be like a child. It's been an honor. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me announce the winner of the Faculty of the Year Awards as voted by the MBAs. That is Professor Nick Wake. And now, finally, please welcome the class speaker of our Masters of International Business program, Francesco Nadeo.